I try and include stories and analogies in my writing. So I wrote a blog recently about how society tackled smoking. And, that's been a 30, 40-year campaign. So a long-term approach has required government intervention through high taxes. There's been a huge amount of intervention through regulation, which has been ramped up over the years. It's not that long ago where you could smoke in public places, and now that would be unthought of in Scotland. And then there's been a huge education, behavioural change campaigns through schools, through the National Health Service, and that's helped to wean people off their addiction to smoking. And what's really happened is there's now the peer pressure is switched. It used to be peer pressure for young people to smoke, and now that is reversed, where the peer pressure is actually more against smoking. And to me, we need the same to happen for climate change, for our emissions of carbon. We need the whole peer pressure in society to be saying we shouldn't be emitting carbon, we need to change. And to me, again, unfortunately, that's probably a 30 or 40-year campaign, but that's what we need to do. So yes, I think stories are a good way of grabbing people's attention.
There's certainly a lot to be said for the mix of fiction and non-fiction. I hate being pigeonholed. You can do both in the same work. You can do both. Neil, you can tell anecdotes to get your non-fiction across, and us fiction writers use storytelling to get the non-fiction across. But it's all actually the same thing, really, when you think about it, because you can always include in a fiction work, you can always include a glossary at the back. You can include a section with technical terms, with concepts are explained, and you can build it into the story as well. And it's all kinds of ways of addressing both fiction and non-fiction. And more people are doing that, by the way. It's not just us four. There's more and more people are working on this angle, which is great.
Fantastic. So, I mean, what I'm hearing is that for those people who are thinking about becoming an author or thinking about writing fiction or non-fiction, there's a place for every voice. Every voice is valuable. Everyone has something useful to contribute. And the impression I get is that you all do it, you're driven to work in a particular way because that's what resonates with you and that's what you feel would be useful. And it's great to have that diversity of approaches. So we had a question from Anna. She said that she's just recently got into children's book writing and illustrating, having graduated in marine biology and biology. And she's not sure how to take it further. So she'd really love to know, how could she bridge the gap between research and children's education in her career? Where could she start? So I'm going to pick on Gloria as possibly the most aligned to that to start with.
Well, Anna, that's a fantastic question, because I don't know that I ever really thought about why I should use what I knew to write books, as it were. I mean, I was still educating people using the speaker role. I've been doing that for 20 plus years after I left education as such in the classroom. Anything that you have, Anna, as a personal a tribute to your own ability. So you've done something about book writing, and you're aware that children really are a very good receptacle for catching all of our ideas and then doing something with them. I think you can just sit down quietly and think, right, okay, what is my passion? What is it I would talk to people? If people were in front of me, what would I be talking to them about? And then, put your ideas about fiction or non-fiction or whatever you're looking at, putting that together as a way to go forward with your ideas for writing. But you're going to have great fun if you do. I can assure you of that.
I agree. And if I may just compliment that, on the more technical side of the writing, of the publishing bit, self-publishing is something that is very accessible today. And there are different ways of approaching, but my suggestion would be to just go ahead and publish and just create your first book if you haven't already. Go ahead and write it and illustrate it, if yes, well, you do both. and get it up there on Amazon, for example, and other platforms. There's actually a lot easier than it sounds. And I think that's how we all started. And the thing to do is action. You have to really just get that book out there. The first one is the most important one because it will help shape your own journey. You will make a lot of mistakes, and these mistakes are very valuable lessons. And get it up there, get it on Amazon, and then you'll have to learn. If you are self-published, you'll have to learn all the business side of things, which is what we are struggling with. I think I can speak for all four of us. You have to become an entrepreneur of your own book, which is a real pain. But the other way is traditional publishing, which has its pros and cons as well. We're not going to get into that right now.